All right, my friends, today I finally ran to Aldi without a kid, so this is really exciting. It's a big thing for me. I haven't done that in a while, so this is the last day he has preschool, so I wanted to get that done. So we're gonna walk through what I got. This is gonna be for the week, and then of course Christmas is coming, so we won't have anything anyway. So let's go over here with our Watkins. I grabbed this from Amazon, so this is not part of the grocery haul. But these were, no artificial dyes, food coloring. You do need to look at these even at Walmart because they have the same brand, but it is still got stuff in it. So this, we're gonna use this for our icing today because we're gonna make cookies today. Ciabatta rolls. I did notice just now that it says ready to heat and serve, so these do need to be heated. They were about the same price as Sam's, a little cheaper because it's less. My mom made me this bag, and I forgot I had it until today. So onions, potatoes, Colby Jack cheese, totally needed. Cauliflower, chopped kale, because we're going to make our zuppa, which hence our hot sausage, and our mild sausage. And another reason we need the onions. And what I'll do with the rest of the onions is freeze these in bags and then prep them in the food processor. Mini bagels for me and my son. Plain bagels for my husband if he needs an extra snack, just for something to give extra. I actually bought bread today because I don't think I'm going to have time to make it with making cookies. So I just took the easy route. So don't forget, it's okay to take the easy route. Grapes were on sale. Honeycrisp apples were ish sale, not the greatest. Mandarins, because he's been obsessed with these. Plus, these are great for car rides, so I can throw this in the car. $2.49 for butter, so I'm gonna stock up on 3 of those. This is the best price on oyster crackers. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Just had to bring all this in. These are 99 cents. So I did grab 3. My son is finding that like when his stomach hurts, these are better than even just saltines. So it's perfect. I love this yogurt. We're running a little bit low, so I just grabbed this one. And I have raspberries and I have granola to go with that. I ran out of powdered sugar, which I've never done. So grabbed that. So that we could make icing today. This we had the other day, and it was so good. So I grabbed it again. It's only $10 for 2, so it feeds me and my husband and a little bit for my son if he wants some, but he usually ends up eating chicken. I got this one because, well, tis the season, right? Chocolate chip waffles. I didn't get the protein because I already have protein waffles, but those were on sale, so whatever. My husband's obsessed with these, so I got milk and regular. All-purpose flour's on sale for really cheap. Whipped cream cheese for the bagels. I usually buy 25 pounds from Sam's, but right now we're about to leave, so I didn't want to do that. Avocado oil spray. I've been talking about that for a while. And then I got everything to make chili. So that's all of our beans for chili. So simple, easy, done. And there'll be some videos to come right after this with what we're doing with these. All right, my friends, so let's just talk about a little bit of why I meal prep. The struggle. Camera fell off. So I meal prep because it makes it easier. So I make extra waffles because, one night when we're struggling and we have chicken tenders in there, we can do that. I keep all of my vegetable scraps so I can make homemade vegetable stock when I know that I want to make my favorite zuppa toscana. So the reason that I meal prep and the reason that I plan for these things is so that I'm not stressed later. And I'll talk more about that as we go. So chicken and waffles. My husband had brought home chicken tenders from work, from his extra job, and so we made chicken and waffles. Super good. So this right here is my veggie stock. I kept all of my veggie scraps from cooking and just froze them, threw them in, and I cooked it for 12 hours with a bunch of water and a bunch of seasonings that I had just grabbed out of my pantry. This allowed me the next day to have it ready to go, and then let it cool really well. And then as soon as it was cool and ready to go, I was able to pour it out and make the zuppa toscana that you're going to see me make as we go. So I threw the sausage in the oven at 375. I'm trying to wear a shirt that does not fit anymore, especially with the baby being as big as the baby is. So this was the one for my son. I am actually due in March, not in June, so clearly a little different. So I just want to say, yeah, cooking is difficult. It's not easy. It's not something you really always enjoy. But if you are able to prep things, then you don't get so stressed. I was able to throw this in the oven while my son was eating lunch. And then once it was in the oven and like ready to cook and finish cooking, we were able to take it apart and throw it in. I forget again that my Instapot actually cooks. So I actually just ended up making this soup in the Instapot. I just kept it, as easy as possible, one dish, one thing done. And I did end up having to throw this in the dishwasher, but that's okay. So once my sausage was all done, I let it cool for a while, and then I poured my broth through my sieve and did all this, and then let it all kind of meld in its flavors. I just threw the extra vegetables into the trash can. They're done, they're used. I've used them all up. And my vegetables were zucchini, the yucky part of the onion, um, some carrot stuff, some other things that I had just put into a bag in the freezer. So keeping a bag for vegetable stock in the freezer is just such an easy way to be always ready to make veggie stock. So once my veggie stock was done, you can see that dark color. I cleaned out my Instapot as best I could and then just poured it right back in. So it was super yummy, super like tasty because it had all those vegetables in it and all that seasoning, and I knew I had just made it that, the night before. So I just prepped that the night before, cut up all my sausage and threw my sausage in. I love this soup. I do one mild pack and one hot pack. You could also do ground sausage if you want. I just prefer the links for some reason. I don't know why. I think the actual zuppa from Olive Garden calls for the actual ground sausage, but I prefer the links. So this is just the way I've always made it. Super yummy. And I think it's better than Olive Garden personally because I like the cauliflower versus the potatoes. I don't know why. The other thing and the reason that I make my own broth is just because you have all those things in your house usually. It's just a good way to save money, but it's also just a good way to make sure you're getting like real nutrients. I'll do the chicken bone broth if I grab an extra rotisserie chicken and make that also. And I usually keep that frozen. Like I do have some frozen in the freezer, but I chose just to make this because I thought about the night before, which is legit. So for the month of January coming up, I just want you to know that I am going to focus in on, slowing down our meal prep a little bit, but making it more simple. I'm going to do an entire video on what we're going to do. We're going to keep our grocery bill really low. We're going to be doing a no spend January just to keep us, back on track after Christmas, and to really appreciate what we got for Christmas and that time. I'm also focusing right now on using my time more wisely. And I think sometimes like looking through grocery ads and making sure I'm going to so-and-so's grocery store to get this deal is actually not using my time as wisely as possible. So I'm hoping that this will kind of eliminate a little bit of that decision fatigue. So that's kind of my big focus for January. So that video is coming. I'm hoping to get it done before we leave, but we'll see what happens. We do leave town after Christmas. Well, Christmas Day, after that to do some family stuff. And I'll probably be off social media for most of that, but I'll still have videos posting every Friday. So this is my cauliflower and I grabbed that out. Again, I could have kept the bottoms and everything, and I probably should have, but just totally didn't even think about it, honestly. So taking off the bottoms and cutting my cauliflower really small. Honestly, my toddler loves this soup. My husband doesn't love it, but he will eat it. And come to find out, he actually ate it a lot better this time than he did before. So it's kind of funny. And I served this with grilled cheese the night I did serve this. So, just think of, simple ways to make things last and to make things, meal prep. Like this lasts just, I think we still have a little bit, and it's like the third day after. So we still have a little bit left. A lot of it for me is like just drinking the broth. It's really been helping with my fiber and my fiber count, my digestion. So the broth is really important to me. And then knowing that my son and my husband are getting that really rich broth with this soup, it just makes me feel better as a mom. So, sometimes it's the little things, sometimes it's the big ones. So this is my easiest zuppa toscana recipe. Vegetable broth, as much as you want. I would say probably an entire container. I did the entire Instapot with water. 1 head of cauliflower, 2 packages of sausage links, and maybe just 1 package of sausage. Just depends on your family. I had a cauliflower. Sometimes I'll do 2, just depends. I've just been doing 1 lately. And then about half a bag of kale from Aldi. And bags of kale can vary in size. So just kind of be aware of how much kale. I have had to cut back the kale. Oh, and onion and garlic, sorry. I've had to cut back the kale. My husband does not love the kale, so I don't do as much kale as I used to. Oh, and then a can of coconut milk, sorry. And so I, had taken the butts of the onion to put in the vegetable broth and just threw the onion into the freezer. And then I'm going to cut it and put it into our soup. So it's just, you have to make things work for your family and do what's best for your family. This is what's working for my family right now is prepping soup. It was so cold this week, so we just needed something. Also made grilled cheeses again, but I make my grilled cheese on the George Foreman. All I had was provolone and that bread that I bought at Aldi, so I did that. This week we've had a lot of bagels, which probably isn't great for us, but it was good, it tasted good. So we've had bagels for breakfast, and then chicken and waffles, as you saw in the beginning. And then you're gonna see some breakfast sandwiches coming up. So I would just say that, like, I would really focus on what's convenient for your family. Um, One of my favorite convenient tricks right there is to grab garlic. The bags of garlic that are already made, are already, peeled, and throw that in the freezer. It will freeze amazingly. So I did that, garlic pressed, threw that in, and it was really yummy. So just make it simple, make it easy, do what works best for you. Apologies, I really should have cut this out. So dogs walking around, trying to eat all the things. I also posted a YouTube short today, and I hope that you were able, or a few this week, of, emptying the dishwasher doesn't take as long as you think it does, and making dinner doesn't take as long as you think it does sometimes. So just kind of be aware of your time. I've been really focused on a time planner this week, and that's been helpful. And I'll have a wellness bundle coming out, and just some different things that are helping me meal prep. So let's talk about kale. I clean this kale really, really well, and then I pull all the big fat stems out because God knows you don't want to eat that. And I cut the kale really small as best I can, and just kind of get that ready. I left this in the fridge just kind of sitting there, while the rest of it was cooking, and I put once, like, because the sausage is already cooked, so all I had to cook was the onions and the cauliflower at first. So I let those cook for about 2.5 hours on crock pot, like just crock pot on in the Instapot, and let that just kind of simmer and go. So it ended up being about 2 hours, and then the last hour, which really ended up being 30 minutes because my time was a little off, I just made sure to add the coconut milk from the can and add the kale. I added those two at the same time, and then added a few red pepper flakes just for extra spice, which I did not need, but that's okay. It was good. So if you need to open up your sinuses, great way to do so. So I just threw the kale in the fridge after I got it done. I kind of just did this during nap time, so it was finished. And then right here, I added my coconut milk, poured it in. I had already done it, so I was just showing you. And then I added my kale. All in, and then stirred it all up with my ladle. So just making sure that it's all kind of cooking in there, and just have my Instapot on for an hour. It actually only had to cook for 30 minutes, and then I just put my crock pot top back on. Just remember, making dinner can be easy or it can be hard. Make it work for you. So I made bacon. I ended up cooking the bacon on, I think, 400 for 20 minutes. And then the eggs, again, just made them in the pan like I did the other week. I added salt and pepper this time, and I added the Gouda cheese. I freshly grated the Gouda cheese so it would melt like beautifully. Again, bacon and Goudas have been my favorite thing in the world, and I don't think I changed the calories very much from what I could tell. The ciabatta rolls are still 200 calories. Bacon is bacon, and then eggs and cheese. But it's a lot cheaper than the $4.95 you pay at Starbucks. So you gotta make money. You gotta save money where you gotta save monny. So I just threw it all the eggs on there, and then whisked up those eggs. Added the Gouda cheese. Let it cook for 20 minutes. Once it bubbles up, it's ready. And then I stored it the same way I stored the last time, just left it like that. My husband actually put this on a bagel one morning, and then the next morning I ended up making these sandwiches, which we ended up eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner, any meal. And they were so good. So I put egg on one side and bacon on the other, cooked it on 375 for 10 minutes, and then we were ready to go. And then I just prepped them in different containers so they were ready to go. Just makes it kind of easy and simple, especially for my husband and my son. They can just kind of grab and go. Or the other night, that's kind of just the only thing we were craving was breakfast sandwiches. So I was able just to throw them in the microwave for 30 seconds and we were done. So I ended up having soup, and then my husband ended up having 2 breakfast sandwiches. So just think about easy ways. Like, It doesn't always have to be like, oh, you eat this, oh, you eat that, oh, you eat this, oh, you eat that. Like, I just like to make it easy. So if it's easier just to prep these sandwiches and then go from there, it is. Like, it just tastes good. Um, my son loved this. He ate half of it, the first one, and I ate the other half because we had to run some errands. Then I prepped the rest of them into containers. These ciabatta rolls were amazing, and I clearly struggled to do this. But friends, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of simple, but sometimes simple's the best, right? I hope you watch out for the January video, and I want you to comment down like below what's your favorite meals. I would love to know what you're prepping, you know, what's going on, what's working best for you in this season. Just a reminder that every season has different things that work best for your family. So let me know. I want to hear. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. It has been great.